What's good, guys? M.V.K back again. Y'all remember this poll that I put up? Now, we did the winning video last week. Y'all had chose a top 10 video, and we did a top 10 video, and I appreciate everybody who came through and watched it and enjoyed. We did a top 10 most visible visual fights, basically, from anime, and it was cool. But I did say, guys, with this poll, I would do this second runner-up, and the second runner-up with, I believe, 29% was something scary, and I said I would do it for you guys. So this is one. I think we're gonna do one of two for you for something scary. Y'all want to see your boy get scared and things like that, or probably won't scare me, but you know, we'll see. So we're gonna do it. So the first video we're gonna do right now is called The Scariest. Get this, the scariest creatures caught by police officers. I am curious about this, what this is, and we're gonna check this out. So let's do it. Here we go. Here we go. Enjoy now.
Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Okay. Your registration is what the? Sarah? What the heck?
What if the things we think are impossible are real? In this video, we will see the scariest creatures caught by police officers.
I swear to God, I saw somebody in the car.
With footage that captures terrifying cryptids and supernatural entities caught on camera.
See? Yeah, right.
From unnerving humanoids to ghostly figures that vanish in an instant. These encounters prove that officers catch more
we're just dealing with clown
criminals.
shit, man.
A police officer pulled over a car one evening, intending to issue a speeding ticket.
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
When he checked the car's registration, he noticed it was expired. He started to ask the driver about it.
That sounds
but
like
as he turned to speak to her, the woman suddenly disappeared.
Alright. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Okay. Your registration is
She wasn't in the car anymore, and there was no sign of her anywhere nearby.
What the? Sarah?
That's gotta be
What
edited.
the heck? Sarah?
The officer looked around, checking the area, but there was no trace of her or her car. It happened so
car's right
fast
there.
that he was
What are you
left
talking
standing
about?
there, unable to make sense of it. The mystery of what happened that night still puzzles him.
No.
Weeping Asylum being? In 2023, a group of police officers in Managua, Nicaragua, were on patrol when they spotted something strange in the distance.
That has got to be
When they got
edited.
closer, they saw the figure of a woman floating above the ground with long, flowing hair.
I'm not buying that shit. That does look kind of creepy, though, but I ain't buying it.
Her face was haunting, and she seemed to be staring off into nothingness.
Nope.
The officers recorded the sighting, and the footage quickly spread across the
You're
internet.
right. Come on, my boy. You gotta do better than that.
People couldn't believe their eyes.
You're right.
Some claimed it was just an illusion,
That's
but
right.
others were convinced it was La Llorona, the weeping woman from folklore. The image of her floating in the air still lingers in people's minds.
Hell,
Mysterious figures. Late one night in a quiet Indonesian town, a man gazed out his window and spotted a dark, shadowy figure standing eerily in the middle of the road. The figure moved strangely, its presence unsettling. Moments later, another figure emerged, and the two began acting in ways that defied logic.
they just look like they're hugging. Come on, man.
Without warning, they parted ways, each disappearing into the night in opposite directions. The man, left frozen and bewildered, couldn't make sense of what he had witnessed.
Why didn't he just call?
Haunted Jim.
Haunted Jim?
Something funny was happening at a public park's outdoor gym that caught everyone's attention. Two police officers on their regular patrol watched in amazement as the shoulder press machine moved up and down by itself, as if someone was working out. Later that same day, a person arriving early for their exercise class saw something even stranger. A spinning bike was moving on its own, pedals turning round and round, with no one sitting there.
It's gotta be on.
People who use the park gym still talk about what might have been getting some exercise that day. The equipment has worked normally ever since, but no one can explain what happened. Cemetery is alive.
I've seen this before. I've seen this.
A quiet night at a local cemetery turned interesting when neighbors called about people walking around after hours. The police went to check it out, thinking they'd find some teenagers. But something unexpected happened.
I ain't gonna lie, that would scare me too a little. Like
coming from different directions.
He was gone. He left his partner. Look at him.
Even the brave officers decided it was better to leave quickly. No one ever figured out what made those sounds that night. Witch in White.
What the fuck? I've seen this video too. This happened in Saudi Arabia. Yep.
Had an unusual encounter during their night patrol. They spotted someone in white standing
in the middle of the road. They think it was a witch. I've seen this before.
The person was standing in a very odd way. And when the officers got closer, something even stranger happened. This figure started following their car. It was like a game of stop and go, with the figure moving toward them, then stopping, then moving again. After a few minutes of this weird chase, the figure just disappeared.
No, it didn't. It actually went off to the corner and then...
Jinn.
What the hell?
ما راح اقرب اكثر. انت متجوز يا ملهوز يا شلهوز.
What the fuck?
During a daytime visit to an old building, someone captured something unexpected on camera. In broad daylight, they saw a figure wearing a gray robe. What caught their attention was the unusual face. It had strange patterns and an odd shape.
Fucking mask, man. Come on, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. That if you were just walking in and you saw that, that'll creep you out.
A mysterious being from Middle Eastern stories.
Trying to say that's a jinn? Come on, man.
This happened during the day made many wonder what they really saw.
Throw a rock at it.
انت متجوز يا ملهوز يا شلهوز.
Hotel horror.
Come on, man.
What started as a family getaway quickly turned into a memory.
Not a baby. Come on, no kids getting hurt. I don't want to see no kids getting hurt.
Pulled back the blinds in her hotel room to see what was outside. But instead of a quiet, empty view, she locked eyes with a shadowy figure moving slowly past their window. Its deliberate
that would scare me as a kid too.
Like them froze her in terror. The air grew thick with unease as her family scrambled to understand what they just witnessed. Though the figure vanished into the night, the fear lingered, leaving them shaken and unwilling to open those blinds again.
Nope.
Abandoned car. On a quiet night patrol, a police officer spotted an abandoned car parked eerily along the roadside. Curious, he approached the vehicle, thinking he saw someone sitting inside. But when he opened the door, it was completely empty.
Somebody's in the car. I swear to God, I saw somebody in the car.
Brushing it off as a trick of the light, he walked away. Later, as he reviewed his body cam footage, his blood ran cold.
Sorry about that.
A pale, ghostly handprint was pressed against the windshield, leaving an unmistakable mark. The officer couldn't explain how it got there, or what it belonged to. The eyes. Chico. Late at night, a man noticed a woman standing by the roadside. As he passed, he stole a quick glance and instantly regretted it. Her eyes, pitch black and void of any humanity, seemed to pierce through him. Fear gripped him,
oh my
and he
God.
sped away without looking back, his heart racing. That haunting image of her lifeless, blackened eyes stayed with him. A chilling memory he could never shake. He never found out who or what she was. Ifrit Jinn.
Nope. What the fuck?
A cop found himself stuck in the middle of nowhere with a flat tire. He noticed a rundown house in the distance and thought it might be his best chance for help. As he stepped inside, everything took a sudden, terrifying turn.
Why would you go there?
Standing in front of him wasn't an ordinary person or even a ghost. It was something much worse.
What is that?
The creature growled low, its eyes glowing with an unnatural fire. The cop instinctively reached for his weapon, ready for anything.
Shoot
but
it!
the creature didn't charge. Instead, it blocked his way,
Shoot
daring him to move. In that moment, he realized with chilling
You want to block his way?
that
I
he
know,
was
goddamn
face
bullet
to
in his
face
ass. Yeah,
with an
that'll
Ifrit,
no.
a powerful, fiery demon that
trying
had
to
no
say that's
business
Ifrit?
being
Come
in this
on.
world.
That's some fucker in a costume.
Taken into custody.
Honolulu police have a spooky story of their own, of a ghostly encounter at the Poly Lookout.
A new police officer had quite the experience during her shift at Poly Lookout. While doing her usual job of closing the gates at night, she noticed a lady wearing white clothes standing nearby.
She locked that one, and she got back in her car, and she drove. But as she drove in, she saw something white.
When she looked again, somehow the lady was sitting in her car's back seat. Instead of panicking, the officer remembered her training about staying calm in unusual situations.
Legend.
She started talking normally, like she
I'm not
would
gonna
to
mess
any
with it.
person. After a few minutes of one-sided conversation, she looked again and the lady in white had disappeared without a trace. The officer still tells this story to her colleagues.
I don't fuck with that.
What are you doing out here, Auntie?
The whole time, the lady sat there, said nothing, and was looking
Through the window.
The fuck?
Beyond the barred window, between the gaps in partially drawn curtains, lurked a sight that froze the blood in its viewer's veins. A sinister figure stared back through unblinking white eyes, its razor-sharp grin suggesting something far removed from our realm of understanding. The window's metal barriers, meant to keep dangers out, now seem to trap the observer in this horrifying moment.
Man.
Whether this entity emerged from demonic depths or some other dark dimension remains a matter of heated debate among those brave enough to discuss it. Dance of Death. Multiple new sightings of the Serbian dancing lady, also known as the
Wait a
Dancing
minute, I think
Shadow,
I actually
have
heard of this
surfaced recently
legend.
on the internet. These chilling videos show a woman dancing in the same erratic,
if she sees you, she'll
unnatural
come
way,
at you
often under the cover
with
of darkness.
a knife or
What
so.
makes
I
this
think
even
I've seen
more
this.
disturbing is the fact that she doesn't dance continuously, only when she senses someone nearby.
Yeah, she senses.
Jeste dobro.
Her movements are hypnotic, but as soon as she stops dancing,
Yeah, I
it's
heard this
time
legend.
to get out of there.
I've heard this
and
story.
Fast. Legend has it that the Serbian dancing lady is a vengeful spirit,
Yeah,
cursed
I've heard
to
this.
wander the night, eternally dancing alone. If you find yourself near her, be careful. When she halts her dance, she chases her victims with a knife, and they're never seen or heard from again.
Yeah,
Some say
I've
she
heard
was
this
once
one.
a woman who went mad
I've heard this
after a
legend before,
traumatic
too.
event, forced to dance forever as punishment for her actions. Her restless spirit now preys on those who cross her path. The dancing lady is not just a tale, it's real, and she's waiting. Stay safe and be extra cautious if you're out alone after dark.
You should be out there alone.
Invisible Panic.
There's people in my car. I know you can't see them. I try to get them out, but they won't not leave.
People
A
in your
call to the
car.
police at midnight led to one of the strangest and most chilling cases they had ever encountered. Heine, trembling and wide-eyed, insisted her car was filled with invisible passengers. She pointed frantically at the empty seats, her voice cracking with fear as she described their presence.
How many people are in your car right now?
From what I saw, see, look, she's moving. Did you see the car seat move?
I didn't. There's clearly nobody in the car.
The officers, skeptical but
she
unnerved
okay?
by her conviction, could see nothing unusual.
Or can
but her
she
terror
see
was
something we
undeniable.
can't?
She begged for help, believing these unseen beings were clinging to her, refusing to let go. Even as the officers tried to calm her, the sheer helplessness of the moment left an unsettling impression. Whatever haunted her may have been unseen, but it was impossible to ignore.
I try to get them out, but they won't not leave. Even if I unlock it, will not open the door. Oh my goodness, it's like intense.
Dark shadow. While exploring a long-abandoned building,
see, this is why I don't do that urban exploring nonsense.
Noise echoing
Nope.
from one of the rooms. As he entered, a dark, shadowy figure moved in the center of the room.
Nope. See, that's why I don't do this.
His heart raced as he tried to get a closer look, but the shadow vanished as though it had never been there. The room, now eerily quiet, gave no clues. Chris meticulously searched every corner, but the unsettling figure never appeared again. It was as if the shadow had dissolved into thin air, leaving only an unshakable sense of dread behind.
Nope. You heard that?
What's for dinner?
What is that?
A calm evening turned into a terrifying experience for a homeowner who ventured into their kitchen for a late-night snack. Standing just outside the window was a massive, shadowy figure, the unmistakable shape of the legendary Bigfoot. The creature's towering frame loomed ominously, its piercing gaze fixed on the house. Frozen in disbelief, the homeowner couldn't comprehend how this elusive figure, said to reside deep in the wilderness, had wandered so close to civilization. Scary humanoid.
First of all, I have a big... I'll talk about that
night
later.
Turned horrifying
I don't
when
buy
a
that
strange humanoid figure appeared
hell?
outside a house's kitchen window. Its movements were slow
There's a
and
cat coming in.
unnerving as
Mr.
it began
Cat,
to
get him.
climb through the window,
Get him, Mr. Cat.
pausing halfway inside. The creature scanned the room as if searching for something, its jerky movements only adding to the
Ain't
terror.
nothing but some
After a few
homeless
tense
guy,
moments,
drunk
it
man.
retreated and vanished
Why is
into
his
the
eyes
night
like that? Don't even
without
lie.
making a sound. The
Mr.
homeowner
Cat,
discovered
get
the
him.
chilling footage the next morning,
Come on,
and the
get him.
realization of how close the creature had come left
Creature.
them shaken.
It's a man.
What it wanted, or why
Just
it left so suddenly,
painted
remains
veins on
an
him.
unsolved and haunting mystery.
Come on, man.
Camper encounter. Camping in the woods is supposed to be peaceful, but for one camper, it became a waking nightmare. Strange noises broke the silence of the night, prompting him to scan the dark forest with his flashlight. That's when he saw it. A demon-like creature perched on a tree branch, its glowing eyes locked on him. The creature's otherworldly appearance and intense stare froze him in place, filling him with a primal fear. Gathering his courage, the camper quickly packed up and left, vowing never to return. Circus
now
gone
this stuff
wild.
right here, I don't care for.
Late one night, a peculiar
I'm
emergency
glad
call
this
sent
stuff
local law
died down. This
enforcement
clown
racing
nonsense,
to an unsettling
this
scene.
is some
There, on
stupid
the roadside
nonsense.
stood two motionless clowns.
Look at these
Their
idiots.
presence sending chills down the spines
Look at
of
these
passing
idiots.
motorists. What made this encounter particularly unnerving was their eerie stillness. Even as police cruisers arrived with flashing lights, the figures remained almost statuesque. Some observers said that something more malevolent might be lurking beneath those painted smiles.
Man, fuck,
This
man.
incident
Just
wasn't
two
just
jack-offs
creepy.
and
It was enough to
acting
validate
stupid.
anyone's coulrophobia. That deep-seated fear of clowns that suddenly doesn't seem so irrational. Gettysburg Ghost. The historic grounds of Gettysburg witnessed a chilling modern encounter when Greg Yolling's evening drive took an otherworldly turn. His camera captured what appeared to be ghostly figures darting across the battlefield road, translucent shapes moving through the darkness.
I mean, I believe in ghosts, and Gettysburg, I would
This
sure
ground,
believe it has
site
a
of
bunch
one of the most intense Civil
Yeah,
War
that's why I
battles,
said I would
claimed
believe,
over
but
51,000
that just-
soldiers'
I
lives
can't
and
believe
5,000
that right
horses
there.
during 3 days of fighting in 1863.
Yeah.
Don't play around.
What's going on? Don't do that.
A mirror ritual seemed like harmless
Yo,
fun
okay,
to
that
two
got
thrill-seeking
me.
friends. Until darkness suddenly enveloped them. The atmosphere shifted as their eyes fixed on the bedroom door, hearts pounding with growing dread. Their attempt to pierce the veil between worlds succeeded in the worst possible way. A nightmarish face materialized on the door's surface. Its gaze locked directly on them. Their screams pierce the darkness as they realize too late that some boundaries aren't meant to be crossed. Garage Phantom. At exactly 2:30 a.m., a seemingly ordinary night took a terrifying turn when a garage security camera recorded something truly unsettling. The footage revealed a ghostly figure with strange, almost robotic movements, lingering in one spot as though fully aware it was being watched. Its eerie presence filled the space with an overwhelming sense of dread, as if it had claimed the garage as its own. For the owner, this once safe space had now become a place of nightmares. Stepping back into that garage would never feel the same, knowing it was no longer just an empty room. Demonic photobomber. An ordinary evening at home took a horrifying twist when a woman spotted something dark and menacing in the corner of her eye. A demon-like figure with a shadowy outline and piercing presence peeked around the corner, vanishing almost as quickly as it appeared. The brief encounter left her heart pounding, her mind racing with questions.
This is in her house?
Was it simply observing her, or was it planning something sinister? For days after, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every creak and shadow in her house, now a source of fear. Moving doll. Deep in a cluttered storeroom, a camera recorded what might be one of the most chilling videos ever seen. A doll, seated innocently on a shelf, began to move on its own. At first, the motions were subtle, almost imperceptible, as though testing its limits. But then, it jerked violently forward, as if pulled by an invisible hand. The room, silent and empty, offered no explanation for the eerie phenomenon. Was the doll possessed by something sinister, or was there an unseen presence playing games? Let me know your thoughts on this.
That's playing.
Creepy clown.
You see? You see what I mean? More clown shit.
Imagine checking your doorbell footage and seeing a clown lurking outside. This isn't a Halloween prank.
See,
the sinister figure wandered
and you would have every right
its
to
intentions
bump a cap in one of these assholes
fiddled
too.
with the door handle,
Look at
attempting to gain
Look
entry.
at this idiot.
Its chilling grin visible even in the grainy
He
video.
got a knife in his hand or
The homeowners
something?
wisely stayed indoors, watching in horror as the clown continued its unsettling behavior. After reviewing the footage, they contacted the authorities, but the clown had disappeared without a trace. Its identity and purpose remain unknown. Doorbell horror.
What the hell?
Strange noises woke a homeowner in the middle of the night, but he brushed them off and went back to sleep. The next day, his curiosity got the better of him, and he checked his ring cam footage. What he saw sent chills down his spine. A bizarre figure with unnaturally large eyes and a grotesque nose stood outside, staring at the house. Its silent, unmoving presence felt like something out of a nightmare.
Some fucker in a costume. Bet you open that door.
After
Look at
lingering
this
for what
idiot.
felt like an eternity,
Just
the figure
open that door and boot
disappeared
him.
into the darkness. The owner couldn't stop thinking about what might have happened if he had opened the door that night.
I know what I would have. I'd have booted his ass. Come on, man.
Prepare to be unnerved by this bone-chilling CCTV footage. The video shows a creature unlike anything you've ever seen, crawling on all fours outside someone's house. It looked like a horrifying mix of human and animal, pale, hairless, and grotesque. Its movements were disturbingly unnatural, almost predatory.
Can't
At first
tell what
glance,
that
it
is.
seemed like a
Doesn't look
twisted
like a-
version of a dog, but on closer inspection, it resembled something far more sinister. Could this be the infamous Dogman, or perhaps something
Dogman.
demonic? Whatever its true identity,
No,
this moment
it's not.
was unsettling. Soul Reaper.
What the fuck? That's not Azazel.
If you thought graveyards couldn't get any creepier, this video will prove you wrong. Sitting ominously atop a tombstone was a terrifying horned figure. Its demonic silhouette illuminated under the pale moonlight. Its hushed posture and fixed gaze into the darkness sent chills down the spine of anyone who saw it. Not real. A group of friends were testing out their new drone in an old, abandoned area when they stumbled upon something they never expected. As the drone hovered over an old, run-down hut, a strange figure appeared, slowly stepping into view. It wasn't like anything they'd ever seen before.
Where? Right here?
Like, oh, dude! Is that him? No. No, that's so creepy! He's actually here, dude!
Its pale, lanky
What are they
body
trying to
and
say that is?
unnaturally thin limbs made it look
You-
like something
come on.
straight out of a horror story. The figure moved with an eerie, deliberate slowness, and the way it looked at the drone made the footage feel all the more unsettling. Many who watch the video believe it's a rake, a creature
on.
from urban legends.
They just so happen
Terror
to
of
see.
joy.
Come on, man. Get out of here.
A body cam caught a cop responding to a distress call about strange noises coming from an abandoned house. As he cautiously entered, a dark shadow flashed across the hallway, vanishing before he could
I
react.
didn't even see that.
But that was just the beginning. The real horror set in when a disturbing, manic laugh echoed through the air, sending chills down his spine.
What the f?
The cops spun around,
I didn't hear
trying to
anything.
find where the sound was coming from, but there was no one there. Only the empty, silent house, and the laugh, growing more unsettling
I didn't
by the
hear
second.
any laugh. Did y'all
No
hear a
one
laugh?
could explain what had happened, and it left everyone who heard about it with a sense of dread. Haunted metro doors. Late one night, a security guard at a metro station captured something that couldn't be explained. The revolving doors started opening and closing on their own, as if an invisible hand was controlling them. Fear set in as the guard watched, too scared to get closer. But then, something even stranger happened. It seemed the doors were alive, moving only when no one was around. The guard quickly realized that these doors weren't just malfunctioning, they were haunted, and whatever spirit was controlling them only did so when the station was empty. The feeling of something watching him lingered long after he left the station, wondering what kind of force was behind it all. Ghostly presence detected. A curious thing happened one evening when a woman was taking a picture of herself. Outside her window, she heard some commotion and saw two police officers rushing upstairs to check on a room. When they got there, they found the room filled with a strange, swirling mist, and unusual sounds were coming from inside. One officer seemed to be trying to calm whatever was in there, looking like he knew exactly what to do. The whole situation was odd. The mist, the sounds, and the way the officers handled it. No one really knows what they found in that room that day. Possessed woman. Something unusual caught everyone's attention in a quiet neighborhood in Poland. A woman was acting very strangely, which made all the neighbors worried enough to call for help.
know
When
it's a
police
woman.
officers arrived at the scene, they found her hiding inside, refusing to come out. She would just peek out now and then, making everyone more concerned about her well-being. The officers stayed patient and calm, talking to her gently, and trying their best to figure out what was troubling her. The whole street watched as the officers worked to handle the situation with care.
They look fucking scared.
Unseen assailant.
I didn't.
When someone called 911 about a break-in, the police expected to find a burglar. Instead, they found something they couldn't explain. The house looked empty, but sounds kept coming from different rooms.
Bro.
Every time the officers checked a room where they heard noise, they found nothing there. They searched the whole house, but couldn't find what was making those sounds.
That's creepy.
It turned into one of those stories the officers still talk about at the station. Flying ghost.
Flying ghost.
Two friends out for a late-night walk were caught off guard by something that sped across their path in the blink of an eye. Shocked and confused,
Come on,
they
man.
struggled to make
Sonic,
sense of what they had
the
just
Flash.
experienced.
Come on, man.
Luckily, a nearby CCTV camera captured the strange moment. When they reviewed
Nice
the footage,
try.
they were floored. It looked like a child soaring through the air.
Nice try.
The figure moved so fast, it was hard to believe it was human.
No, it ain't.
Creepy Santa.
Creepy Santa.
Christmas turned from cheerful to chilling for this unfortunate family when a sinister version of Santa Claus appeared outside their home.
It's Krampus.
Instead of the usual jolly figure, they
Krampus.
saw a haunting, malevolent presence lurking near their doorstep.
Somebody dressed up as
The
Krampus.
eerie figure moved slowly, its unsettling gaze piercing through the festive atmosphere. The family could only watch in horror as this dark twist on the holiday icon disappeared into the night.
Krampus.
Was it a
Somebody
warning,
dressed up
or
as
had the
Krampus.
holiday spirit itself been corrupted? One thing's for sure, this was a Christmas they'll never forget. Dark tentacle entity.
What the hell?
Late one night, a strange
What
creature
the-
was
it's a
caught on
fucking
camera,
balloon. Come on,
floating
man.
in the middle of the street. It hung there, suspended in the air, with long flowing
come on,
tentacles
man.
that
It's coming.
moved unnaturally. At one point, the creature shifted its form, resembling a snake, twisting and writhing in a way that didn't seem possible. The only light that reached it came from the street lamps, making it look even more mysterious.
Come on,
Some
man.
think it could
Yeah.
be some kind of UFO, but there's something about it that feels wrong.
Come on.
Like it's something no one can explain, even though it was
Oh
clearly
my
captured
gosh, come
on
on,
film.
man.
Knocking hands. One night, a man and his dog were woken up by non-stop barking. His dog, usually calm, was clearly on edge, growling and staring at something outside. After a few moments, they heard it, the knocking on the door.
Holy hell.
It wasn't just once, but a steady rhythm, almost like someone or something
Trust
was
your dog.
trying to
Your
get in.
dog is making.
Calm down. What are you?
The man went to the door
Look at
and
that. The
called
dog
out,
is barking.
but there was no answer. He opened the door slowly, only to find an empty doorstep. There was no one around. The whole thing left him confused and unsettled.
Charlie, come on.
Yeah, bring Chuck.
Demonic ritual.
Fuck.
Terror unfolded on camera as a woman, wild-eyed and intense, desperately tried to prevent onlookers from interrupting what appeared to be a dark ritual in progress.
Back up, bro.
No! You don't know what you're doing!
Her warnings carried an unsettling weight,
This is some
and those who
horror
chose
short
to ignore
film.
her frantic pleas soon discovered the gravity of their mistake.
What the fuck is that?
The events that followed cast a shadow far darker than anyone anticipated, leaving
The
witnesses
acting
shaken
is so
and
bad.
confused.
Come on, man.
What is that? Goddamn, number one. Run, Marvel.
Some mysteries are better left unexplored, as this incident proved, leaving behind a web of unanswered questions and a persistent sense of unease. Skipping shadow. Late one night, security cameras picked up something unusual. A person dancing and skipping down an empty street. The interesting part was the sound of ankle bells ringing with each skip. When this mysterious dancer noticed they were being filmed, they didn't stop or run away. They just kept hopping along, bells jingling, like it was the most normal thing to do at midnight.
Okay.
What made it extra curious was how they seemed completely comfortable being out there alone.
We done. Look, man, come on. The last part, I'll spoil the last bit. The last bit, they said it happened in Vegas, and there's this humanoid creature. Come on, man. Okay. Look. The only one that kind of creeped me out is that woman, and that could have been done. Edited. Somebody edited and blackened her eyes out, but I don't care. That was creepy in general, because that just creeped me out in general. Like the way she was just looking, and yeah, she didn't blink either. So that would creep me out. Imagine walking past her and then you look into her and she's that creeped me out. The whole so-called Bigfoot thing, look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do believe that it is real. I do believe that cryptic is real, but I'm not believing what I just saw right there. You know why? Because at the end of the day, if it was true, you know what I mean, news article people would go and come on, stop. This was, and it's funny. It says scary things caught by police, and a lot of it didn't have to do with the police. There was some, and there were a few that I have seen before. That the whole cemetery and screaming, I seen that, and that still cracks me up to this day. Because talk about leaving your partner. He left his partner high and dry. Imagine, you know, if something did, and she like, what happened to your partner? Oh, I left her. You know. But at the end of the day, you know, come on, man. A lot of that stuff, like the clown stuff, I never liked that stuff because that clown. I remember when that clown phase. There was people that would be out at night and they just stand in the middle and these clown stuff. Like it was. It's funny because it was happening in Florida a lot. It was happening, I think, Ohio. But you ain't never seen it come here to New York. You know damn well if that stuff, like they know they don't want to try us. They know that. They know. It's just the clown situation stuff is stupid. And if I see one of them clowns just stand, you wanna play? All right, run your ass over or something. Or beat you down. Like, don't play with me with that. Don't play like that. But a lot of this was just made me laugh. It wasn't even scary. It was more funnier than scary. Like, I did feel bad for that little girl because she saw that giant, whatever, that man that came by the window. That would creep out a little kid. But a lot of that UFO, like, come on, stop. Look, guys, it was fun, but it wasn't scary. And if you were scared, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were a few things I did jump at. There was maybe one or two, but outside of that, it was nothing. It's funnier. Y'all guys take care.